Good evening, and welcome to tonight's edition of Symposium, the Philosopher's Discussion Show, here on the campus of Hofstra University. I am your host, Plato, and tonight we have three very special guests with us. Here we have René Descartes, a man who has been dubbed the father of modern Western philosophy. Although born in France, he has lived throughout Europe, including the Dutch Republic and Sweden. Over here we have Confucius, arguably the most influential Eastern philosopher in history, whose teachings still impact life in China and all across the Eastern world. And next to him we have Lao Tzu, whom many consider the founder of Taoism, another very influential Eastern philosophy. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Plato.
First of all, we would like to welcome all of you to Hofstra. I know you were able to stop by the campus yesterday. I'm sure the students are very excited to have such famous guests here with us.
Well, I'm sure they would be if they weren't all half asleep like I've been seeing.
That's good. They've been studying day and night. They're filling their mind with precious knowledge.
I'm pretty sure most students would like to sleep at night.
If I may butt in, I'm not saying I hate school, but in my experience, it can only teach you so much.
No. The only way to learn is to study. You can't just trust your intuition all the time.
None of this matters as long as we still have these children going through these ridiculous rituals. Class, then homework, again and again. What good does it do?
Gentlemen, if I may interrupt, let's not get too carried away before we even start. You've all been here for about a day now, and I'd like to ask, from your experiences here and at other places too, how do you feel about the state of American education? We'll start with you, Mr. Descartes.
Of course. You see, education is not something that I'm fully against, especially in an institution like this one. But what I believe, and I know this is not something my colleagues would agree with, is that education can only take you so far. It's certainly good for those who would like to seek a profession, but of my own experiences with schooling is very doubtful.
What do you mean by doubtful?
Well, I mean that I went through my studies and became suspicious if I was really learning anything at all. I became so doubtful of my learning, the only thing I sincerely learned was how ignorant I am. Yes, the schooling I had might become an avenue for a profession, but it's not clear any fog in my mind about greater understanding.
How would this experience affect any advice you would give to a body of students?
Well, I have no real idea what meaningful advice I would give another other than what I've already written down in my publications.
Mr. Confucius, I see you have a concerned look on your face.
If I may comment, what my colleague has just said is very self-indulged. You cannot expect to convince people you are good by talking in such pretentious ways. Besides, I refute the argument that education can only take you so far, and your experience greatly bothers me. Students should enjoy their learning experience. It should be a pleasure for them to learn and implement what they have learned.
If I may inquire further, what do you think of this institution and how it handles learning?
It's not perfect, but it comes close to a pristine system. I would, quite honestly, advocate for less discussion. The teachers here are too lenient. They should bring about authority to their students, not let them go off on tangents.
Wait a second. Are you saying that the exchange of ideas between a teacher and a pupil is ill-advised practice?
No, I'm not saying an exchange of ideas is bad or ill-advised. What I'm saying is that students should not have such freedom to undermine the authority of the ones who are teaching them. I have no problem with students trying to seek answers. I have a problem with inexperienced pupils trying to make up their minds.
So you believe there is a lack of more authority in institutions such as this?
Yes, but it's a smaller problem, and there are instances where it does not apply. Have you ever been to class? What's it called? Culture and expression. They have these wonderful lectures where teachers express their wisdom to their pupils. However, they go off into these discussion sections, which can be very good, but also let the students a little too off the English.
I've heard of this class. I wonder if they've read any of our books.
I wonder if that class ever gets boring. Maybe they get some much needed sleep. Dream a little.
Maybe they're all dreaming in the first
Gentlemen,
place.
let's try to stick to one topic at a time.
Yes, please don't put Descartes before the horse.
It's only been about an hour since I heard that joke.
But while we're on the subject, Lao Tzu, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this institution.
Well, while I just certainly disagree with my good friend Confucius, I also need to make my point clear, because it does differentiate from both of these aforementioned ideas. I believe that education is a great pathway, and that's something that C. Funk and I agree on.
I'm sorry, who?
C. Funk, this guy over here.
I have told you again and again, stop calling me that!
Back to the point. You believe education is good?
Yes, but I don't believe you can simply ritualize education and make it like fast food. Many of these children go through a system like a printing press. None of it is handcrafted or made so that a student enjoys their learning in the present. It's all stuff students learn before them and have gone through again and again, and not everyone is successful.
What do you mean, handcrafted? Students should love to learn whatever is given to them. Your argument is sounding a little pretentious again.
Your argument has been sounding pretentious this whole time.
Oh, gentlemen, let's keep this civil, shall we?
All I'm saying is, I'm very suspicious of the ritualistic nature of schools. We give every generation of students the same material, but not every generation of students will think the same.
Darn, he has a point there. I love the idea of school, but maybe there are other ways to gain wisdom.
You may have a point, but I still think studying is the best way to achieve wisdom.
I still don't understand why you two value studying to this extent. While I do value the exercises I learned in school, I started to question them with my own reality. I don't even know if I'm actually awake at this point or not. How am I supposed to be able to distinguish between awake and sleep? This could all be a dream.
Oh, for goodness sake, not this dream mumbo jumbo again.
This isn't a dream, this is reality. The question is, what is the pattern here? What will this lead to in the future?
But does the future really matter if this is all a dream? All this thinking would be such a waste if I suddenly woke up.
Let me interrupt for a second to ask Confucius. What did you mean when you said it's mumbo jumbo?
Lao Tzu and I both agree that this creation business distracts people from the real problems of life that we are living in.
There is no point in discussing how we got here if it distracts us from actually being here.
But just humor me for a moment. How can we really know if we're awake or asleep?
Renee, didn't you have that famous line, I think, therefore I am?
Yes, but that's about greater existence, which I would honestly say puts me in agreement with my colleagues here, because I'm thinking about my existence, so now I must exist.
Yes, but you need to understand that we believe thinking about it more just distracts us all from living.
Yes, but I believe that it's a good thing to think about these things. It's a good thing to think about why God put us on this earth.
Renee, we don't believe in God.
Well, I do, and he put us here for some reason.
If that reason was to argue with each other, I really don't think he made a very good plan.
Whoa. I unfortunately have to stop you right there, gentlemen. It appears we're out of time. I'd like to thank you all for coming today.
Thanks,
That does it for this episode of the Symposium. Thanks for watching.
This episode is brought to you by Carrot Juice.